my fiancée announced, "I'm hyphenating my last name with my ex-boyfriend's. For professional reasons." I nodded. Makes sense. Then, I updated our wedding invitations to list me as still deciding if I'll show up. Her bridesmaids were calling within minutes. I, 31 male, was sitting at the kitchen table going over wedding venue invoices when my fiancée Cordelia, 29, walked in with what she called her professional announcement face. "Babe, I need to tell you something about my name after we get married." I figured she wanted to keep her maiden name. Cool. Sure, what's up? "I'm going to hyphenate." "Okay, lots of people do that." "Not with your name, with Ashton's." I put down my coffee. "Ashton, your ex-boyfriend?" "It's for professional reasons. All my published research papers are under Cordelia Hampton Fitzgerald. If I change it now, I'll lose my academic recognition." For context, Cordelia dated Ashton Fitzgerald for 4 years. They broke up 3 years ago. We've been together for 2.5 years, engaged for 6 months. Our wedding is in 2 months. "You never took his name. You were never married." She shifted. "Well, no, but I started using it professionally when we were together, for networking purposes. The Fitzgerald name carries weight in academic circles." "So you've been publishing under your ex-boyfriend's name this entire time we've been together?" "It's not like that. It's just professional." I stared at her, really looked at her. "And after we get married, you'll be Cordelia Hampton Fitzgerald Morrison?" "No, that's too long. I'll just stay Cordelia Hampton Fitzgerald." "So you won't take my name at all? But you'll keep your ex's?" "You're making this emotional when it's purely practical." "Makes sense," I said, pulling out my laptop. "Totally understand." She looked relieved. "Really? Oh, thank God, I thought you'd freak out." "Nope, all good." I opened our wedding website, changed the header from Cordelia and Ethan's wedding to Cordelia and Ethan's wedding, attendance TBD. Then I updated the invitation section to read, "You're invited to celebrate the union of Cordelia Hampton Fitzgerald and Ethan Morrison. Still deciding if I'll show up." "What are you doing?" "Making my own professional announcement." Her phone started ringing immediately. "Bridesmaid number 1, Phoebe. What the hell is this about Ethan not showing up to your wedding?" Cordelia grabbed the phone. "It's nothing. He's being petty." I called out loud enough for Phoebe to hear. "Ask her about keeping Ashton's name." The room went quiet. Then I heard Phoebe's voice through the phone. "Ashton? Your ex-Ashton? Are you insane?" Update 1. The bridesmaids have been in full damage control mode, and it's been hilarious to watch. First, they tried the group intervention. All 4 of them, Phoebe, Jade, Ramona, and Cordelia's sister Genevieve, showed up at our apartment while Cordelia was at work. Phoebe led the charge. "Ethan, you need to stop this childish behavior. You're embarrassing Cordelia. She's embarrassing herself by keeping her ex's name." Jade tried the sympathy angle. "You don't understand academia. Publishing credentials are everything. She never married him. It's not her legal name. She's been cosplaying as his wife professionally while dating me. She loves you. The name doesn't mean anything. If it doesn't mean anything, she can change it." Ramona, the blunt one, "You're really gonna blow up your wedding over this?" "I'm not blowing up anything. I'm just being honest about my uncertainty. You know, like how Cordelia was honest about using her ex's name for 2.5 years. They left after Cordelia came home and found them there. The fight that followed was epic. You had my bridesmaids ambush you? Without me? They ambushed me. Apparently you've been crying to them about how unreasonable I am. You are being unreasonable. It's just a name. Then take mine." "I can't. My entire career is built on pretending to be connected to your ex." She slept at Genevieve's that night. But here's where it gets interesting. My buddy Landon works at the same university as Cordelia. Different department, but academic circles are small. He did some digging for me. Turns out, Ashton Fitzgerald isn't just some ex. His father, Dr. Reginald Fitzgerald, is the dean of Cordelia's department. Ashton himself is an associate professor there. Every single one of Cordelia's published papers, co-authored with Ashton. Every conference she's spoken at, organized by the Fitzgerald family's academic connections. She hasn't been keeping his name for professional recognition. She's been keeping it for professional access. I texted her, "How many of your papers would have been published without Ashton's name on them?" She read it. No response. Then Ashton himself called me. "Ashton, Hey Ethan, I heard about the name situation. I want you to know I had no idea she was still using it. Really? Well, I mean I knew she was using it professionally, but I assumed she'd stop when you got married. It's actually kind of weird for me too. Then why haven't you said anything? Long pause. My dad likes her work. He thinks she's an asset to the department. I was told not to make waves. So your daddy is protecting your ex-girlfriend's career and she's using your name to maintain that protection? When you put it like that? There's another way to put it. He hung up. Update 2. Cordelia came back home with what she thought was a compromise. I'll hyphenate with both names. Hampton Morrison Fitzgerald. No. Why not? Because you're still including your ex's name. Also, that's not a compromise. That's you getting everything you want, plus my name as a participation trophy. You're being impossible. I'm being consistent. You want to be a Fitzgerald professionally? Be single personally. That's when she revealed the real issue. I already submitted my tenure application under Hampton Fitzgerald. If I change it now, I'll have to resubmit everything. It could delay my tenure by years. You submitted for tenure without telling me? I was going to surprise you when I got it. With your ex's name attached? She threw her hands up. God, why are you so obsessed with Ashton? I'm not. You are. You're literally trying to take his name to your grave. That's not. What do our future kids call themselves? Morrison? Or do they get saddled with Fitzgerald too? She went pale. I hadn't thought about kids. Of course you hadn't. You're too busy thinking about your career. Your career built on your ex's family name. Then came the nuclear option. Her mother, Daphne, called. Ethan, darling, Cordelia tells me you're having concerns about the wedding. I'm having concerns about her keeping her ex-boyfriend's name, yes. It's just pragmatic, dear. Surely you understand that. Would you have taken your ex's name if it was pragmatic? That's different. How? Well, I wasn't building a career. So you're saying your daughter is choosing her career over her marriage? Silence. Then, she can have both. Not with me, she can't. Daphne tried another angle. We've already paid deposits, the venue, the catering, the flowers. I'll reimburse you for half. That's not the point. Guests are coming from across the country. They can still come. I just might not be there. You can't be serious. Ask your daughter if she's serious about marrying Ashton's name. I mean, me. The next morning, I woke up to find Cordelia on her laptop, typing furiously. What are you doing? Proving a point. She'd created a presentation, a PowerPoint, about why keeping Ashton's name was logical. It had graphs, citations, a timeline of her publications. Slide 12 was titled Cost-Benefit Analysis of Name Change. I laughed, actually laughed. You made a PowerPoint to convince me to let you keep your ex's name? I'm being logical. You're being insane. This is my career, and this is supposed to be our marriage. She slammed the laptop shut. Maybe we should postpone the wedding. Maybe we should cancel it. We stared at each other. Finally, she said, I'm not changing my professional name. Then I'm not changing my RSVP status. Update 3. Things have completely unraveled, and the entitlement has reached astronomical levels. Cordelia went behind my back and sent out correction emails to all our guests saying the wedding website was hacked and to disregard the RSVP changes. She assured everyone the wedding was proceeding as planned. I sent out my own email an hour later with screenshots of our text conversations about the name issue. The subject line, not hacked, just honest. The family explosion was immediate. Her father, Harrison, called me directly. Son, you're humiliating my daughter. She's humiliating herself by clinging to her ex's name. It's just business. Marriage isn't business, unless she's marrying me for business reasons too. He hung up on me. But then something interesting happened. Cordelia's grandmother, Evelyn, reached out. She's 82 and doesn't give a damn about anyone's feelings. Ethan, dear, I need to tell you something about my granddaughter. What's that? She dated that Fitzgerald boy specifically because of his family name. She told me herself she'd never have gotten into that PhD program without his father's recommendation. She used him? And now she's using you for stability while keeping her foot in his door. I love my granddaughter, but she's always been calculating. Gets it from her mother. Why are you telling me this? Because you seem like a nice boy who deserves better than being someone's backup plan. That night, I did something petty but necessary. I called the venue and canceled my portion of the payment, since Cordelia had insisted on the fancy country club that, surprise, surprise, the Fitzgeralds are members of. It needed both our cards on file. Without mine, they required full payment up front. Cordelia called me screaming. The venue says you withdrew payment? Yep. The wedding is in 2 weeks. What wedding? I haven't decided if I'm showing up, remember? They want $15,000 immediately or they'll cancel. Better call Ashton. I'm sure the Fitzgerald name can help. She actually did. She actually called Ashton to try to get his family to cover the venue. Ashton called me an hour later. Dude, your fiancée just asked me to pay for your wedding venue. She's not my fiancée anymore. She doesn't seem to know that. She will soon. The next day, Cordelia did something that still blows my mind. She scheduled a meeting with a lawyer to see if she could sue me for breach of promise, since we were engaged. The lawyer, who happened to be a friend of a friend and gave me a heads up, told her, "You want to sue your fiancé for not marrying you while you keep your ex-boyfriend's name?" She stormed out. Update 4. The week before our supposed wedding became a circus of entitlement. Cordelia moved back in with her parents but kept coming to the apartment to collect things. Really, she was trying to guilt me with strategic crying sessions. I installed a Ring camera. Caught her literally practicing her tears in the hallway before ringing the doorbell. Then came the ultimatum email. She CC'd both our families. Dear Ethan, after much reflection, I'm willing to compromise. I will legally change my name to Morrison but continue publishing under Hampton Fitzgerald. This is my final offer. If you don't accept, I'll be forced to proceed with the wedding alone and explain to our guests why you chose to abandon me over something so trivial. Love always, Cordelia. I replied all. Dear Cordelia, a marriage where you take my name legally but use your exes professionally isn't a compromise. It's a deception. You'd be Mrs. Morrison at home and Mrs. Fitzgerald at work. I won't be anyone's part-time husband. Also, wedding alone is just called a party. Ethan P.S. Still deciding on attendance. Her bridesmaids went nuclear. Created a group chat with me called Save This Wedding. Phoebe, you're destroying her life. She's crying constantly. Ramona, the deposits are non-refundable. I'm her sister and even I think you're right, but please just cave. I responded with a Venmo request to each of them for $3,750, their portion of the wedding if they wanted to save it so badly. They all left the chat. But here's the best part. Remember how all of Cordelia's papers were co-authored with Ashton? Well, Landon did more digging. Turns out, on the last 3 papers, Ashton did 90% of the work. Cordelia was basically a name-only co-author, riding his coattails. Ashton's new girlfriend, Bethany, found out about the whole situation and was pissed. She called Cordelia directly and told her to stop using her boyfriend's name or she'd go to the university ethics board about the fake co-authorship. Cordelia called me sobbing. Ashton's girlfriend is threatening me. Good. My career could be ruined. The career built on your ex's name? That career? You don't understand. Without those papers, I won't get tenure. Then maybe you should have done your own work instead of riding the Fitzgerald train. I did do work, under another man's name, while engaged to me. She hung up. Final update. I woke up on what would have been my wedding day to 73 text messages. The bridesmaids, both families, random guests, and Cordelia had been busy. The highlight was a message from Cordelia at 3 a.m. I'm at the venue, in my dress. If you don't show up, I'll never forgive you. I replied, I never forgave you for keeping Ashton's name. Guess we're even. But I did go, not to get married, just to watch the show. I arrived at the venue in jeans and a t-shirt. The place was fully decorated. Guests were confused. Cordelia was in the bridal suite having a meltdown. Her father Harrison approached me. You came to your senses? Nope, just came to return this. I handed him the ring. You're really doing this? Here? Now? She really kept her ex's name. Here. Now. Daphne tried next. Ethan, please, just think about what you're throwing away. A future where my wife publishes under her ex-boyfriend's name? I have thought about it. Then Cordelia emerged. Full wedding dress, full makeup, full delusion. You came. She actually ran toward me to say goodbye. She stopped. What? I'm not marrying someone who values their ex's name more than our relationship. It's just a name. Then change it. I can't. Then I can't marry you. The entire room was watching. Guests were filming. Genevieve was trying to damage control, telling people it was performance art. Cordelia's final attempt. If you leave now, I'll tell everyone you're gay. I laughed. Loud. Go ahead. Tell them I'm gay. At least then they'd understand why I don't want to marry someone who's obsessed with their ex-boyfriend. Plot twist. Ashton and Bethany were there. Yeah. Cordelia had invited them to show there were no hard feelings. Bethany stood up. Actually, Cordelia, tell them about how you asked Ashton to leave me last week so you could keep using his name without drama. Silence. Ashton looked stunned. You what? Cordelia went white. That's not, I didn't. Bethany pulled out her phone. I have the texts. You said, and I quote, if you really cared about my career, you'd understand why I need this. Ashton stood up. We're leaving. And Cordelia, I'm filing paperwork with the university to have you removed from all future publications. Use your own name. They left. The Fitzgeralds left. Half the guests left. Cordelia turned to me, makeup running. This is all your fault. No, this is all yours. You chose a name over a marriage. I left, but the aftermath? Glorious. According to multiple sources, Cordelia had her reception anyway. 20 people showed up out of 200. She gave a speech about choosing herself that someone posted on TikTok. The comments were brutal. The university opened an ethics investigation into her publications. Ashton's father removed her from 2 upcoming conferences. She had to move back with her parents because she couldn't afford the apartment alone. Her tenure application was denied. Last week, she texted me from a new number. I would have changed it eventually. Me. Would've. Could've. Didn't. She replied, I'm keeping Fitzgerald professionally. It's who I am now. Me. Cool. Stay single professionally too. Blocked. I'm doing great. Started dating Renata from my CrossFit gym. First thing she told me, I don't even have social media under my real name. Too many weirdos. When I told her about Cordelia, she laughed for 10 minutes straight. She wanted to keep her ex's name? Was she trying to parent trap him back or something? We're taking it slow, but she's already said if we ever get married, she's taking my name because Morrison sounds badass. To everyone asking, no, I don't regret it. Cordelia showed me who she really was, someone who'd rather have a prestigious name than a genuine partnership. She wanted to be Dr. Hampton Fitzgerald more than she wanted to be my wife. Good luck with that career built on someone else's name, Cordelia. Hope it keeps you warm at night. Oh, and Evelyn, the grandmother, called me last week. You dodged a bullet, dear. She's already on Hinge listing herself as Dr. Hampton Fitzgerald. The delusion continues.